Hey sweethearts, it's Amber. It's Saturday. I got a cat with a cone. He had a little vet visit last week and has been messing with what they messed with, so he's got a cone. He's not happy about it. So our topic this week is sex, which I think it's been maybe 5 months. Maybe it was right after I came on the channel that we talked about sex the last time. So we're going to talk about sex in a general way, and sex and dysphoria, and kind of working through that. So I think I want to tackle the dysphoria part first, and then talk about other sex-related things. So I think with the dysphoria thing, it's really important, one, to have really open lines of communication with your partner. If you are the trans partner in this relationship, that you're telling your partner what you need and what you're okay with and what you're not okay with, and that even before you get in the bedroom, that there is communication about kind of what's going to happen. And then once you are in the bedroom, say, touch me here, don't touch me there, do this, don't do that, to have that communication. And I think for a lot of people in the bedroom, it's kind of a we know what's going to happen, so we just kind of do it without necessarily talking to each other in the midst of it. So if you don't already talk in the midst of it, I think sometimes that's important, especially when you're trying to navigate around as the partner to a trans person, as you're trying to navigate around what they may or may not be comfortable with and how they may or may not want you to touch them. So communication is key, which if there's a theme in all my videos, it's probably that communication is key. And then when it comes to sex in a general way, again, communication is really important. And there are a lot of great resources out there to help you. Some of the folks that have helped me, I grew up pretty without a whole lot of sex education. I went to Catholic school for 12 years, and so we didn't really talk about sex at all. We did not have any sort of comprehensive sex education. So as an adult, I've kind of been on my own to figure a lot of these things out and to learn things on my own. So I would recommend, if you're a podcast person, Having Sex with Katie Morgan is really cool. She is definitely, and some of the folks that she's had on the show have made me think about porn stars differently than I did before I listened to the show. She's an ex-porn star, and she answers questions about anything and everything that people send in. And she has all kinds of guests on the show, and they're a little inconsistent in terms of how often they come out, but generally there's about 2 episodes a month, give or take. And if you go back, if you want to start at the beginning, they were 5 days a week when they first started. So they've kind of dialed it back quite a bit, and they always shoot for 1 episode a week, but that just doesn't always happen. And then also in the sex, dating, love life advice category would be Dan Savage. If you're not a Dan Savage listener, I definitely recommend him. He is also, similar to Katie, will answer any and every question that people send his way. And if he doesn't know the answer, often he will bring some sort of expert on, whether it's a doctor or if it's a fetish-related thing. Sometimes he'll bring someone in who has knowledge of that fetish community or is a member of that community. So it's really informative, and I've learned a lot from both of their podcasts. So I definitely recommend those 2 things if you're kind of like me and didn't get a whole lot of education in your life about it. And then otherwise, one of the great things about both Katie and Dan's podcasts is that they often have codes to adamandeve.com, which is like a mega store for all things sex related. So I feel like as LGBT couples, that especially as folks who both partners have female parts for the most part, I think it can be really helpful to have some toys in the bedroom. So Adam and Eve has a great selection, and that people are really good about putting up reviews, which has helped us as we pick some things out. So I recommend that as well. Other than that, I'm not much for talking about my own sex life in a public YouTube forum. So I think that's about what I've got in terms of dealing with dysphoria and some tips on helping your sex life while in a relationship. So if you have questions, comments, concerns, leave them below, and I'll do my best to answer. And I'll see everybody next week. Have a great week.